Art and Labor made this. Pay your interns, and that's suggested donation. T-shirts. They're working on a big kind of campaign on that.
Okay.
These are. I'm trying to initiate the discussion on the comments. So these are postcards that were made with Creative Commons imagery of Occupy Wall Street. So they have the Creative Commons credit on them.
How do you define the commons?
It's research that's shared and managed by a community.
Such as?
Could be anything. I mean, a community garden is one example of like commons that many people sit together and decide to manage. I think people leave out the managing part of it.
It's no quorum. You need to have a full facilitation team.
Let's make one.
Let's make one. Yeah, make one, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Show up. Come on, go ahead.
I nominate Justin.
I nominate John. This is going to be a thing. Other people besides me are going to have to step up to volunteer. Come stand up and introduce yourself.
I am Antonio. I'll co-facilitate for the time that I'm here.
Salud.
Yeah.
How do people feel about that? Can we get a temperature check?
Antonio, yeah.
We would need
Sandy.
one more person to stack things.
Sandy.
I stack. I'll stack.
People volunteer themselves. People don't volunteer others.
Volunteer John.
So, Nas, please introduce yourself and ask for consent. How do people feel about Nas taking stack?
Pick and stack.
Yeah.
Okay. By my understanding, according to the website, we do not have any active proposals. Things were kind of convoluted this week. When we were supposed to have a facilitation meeting, we had a direct action. The person who normally takes these things was in jail. So, what we're discussing...
Wait, point of information. Even though I was in jail, someone else bottom lined that meeting, and no one showed up.
Lack of interest.
So, what we had been discussing was potentially opening the agenda for discussion items. If there are any proposals that we don't know about, that would be great if they could step forward in setting the agenda.
Yeah.
So, if you have an agenda item, please get on stack.
Nas, the list taker. Put me on the agenda.
Facilitation group. I'd like that as a discussion topic.
Albert.
Good topic.
No, I have an agenda item.
We have some volunteers to catch the bullets.
The overlapping of actions and meetings. That needs to be addressed.
Marginalization through schedulization, a popular topic.
Been bringing that one since February.
What was your item?
Unfreeze the account, the money. 32 grand.
Turn it loose.
Cut it loose.
Overlapping
What's your name?
Michael. The overlapping of events and direct actions.
If this is an NYCGA,
Same thing, which is proposals to actually be heard by the New York City General Assembly must be announced in a specific fashion. We currently had not announced in this fashion. We cannot thus reach consensus on a decision and go forward with that.
I disagree with what you just said.
what we can do,
That's great, but we wrote these rules.
Yeah,
It's
no,
very
but-
clear we are currently
Put it for
following
next
a
week's
24
agenda.
hour
Yeah,
Who are we?
what we can do-
I'm a member of Occupy Wall Street,
I have a
and I'm making a
suggestion.
proposal that we unfreeze the account. I am Occupy Wall Street.
we can build a proposal as a group right now and submit it online so next week we can have the rest of the committee. If we get consensus here, it'll be a lot easier building consensus next week at the official
Why not deal with
NYCGA.
it?
This is not official.
Oh, I'm not on stuff.
So,
Do we have someone taking minutes?
We have several cameras recording, including 2 live streamers.
it is very clear by what makes a GA a GA. We are locked in with, if it wasn't announced at least 24 hours beforehand, if it wasn't publicized online, we can't hear a proposal. We can build one. We can't consent on one.
Too many rules.
Point of information. The idea behind that is so a small group of people can't hold the GA and suddenly decide to give the money away. It was an idea to a stop break. Maybe we should look at that and remove that break that we used to have in place. You know, it seems to be people have an issue with it. I think we should talk about it. It's a spending freeze. That's how we refer to it in the wider community.
So, this discussion topic is to end the spending freeze. Next on stack.
Antonio.
That was Antonio.
No, it's Tony.
But are we going to discuss that? Why don't we discuss it?
Again?
No.
Okay.
You're done.
The agenda items, I just want to.
Bolshevik rebel.
I want to talk about the archives in relation to the movement's archives.
As a point of information, you might want to talk to the archives working group, who tomorrow is giving away everything. That might be outside of the space of this General Assembly.
No, I want to bring it here to see how people feel about the giving away of the.
As long as you already know that's happening, then that's cool.
I could unfreeze the funds. I could do some outreach for September 17th. Because I personally, along with some other people, are afraid that we're not going to have the proper numbers that we want for the 17th. And fuck you mean? It's our birthday. And it's always a numbers game. So I'm going to have to second that dude, unfreeze the account so we can get funds for our outreach project so that we can do the 17th. Now, I know this is an improper proposal. I'll have it written down for next Saturday. And if you don't like my proposal, no offense, I'll smack you in the face with that piece of paper.
Occupy Wall Street.
This is Occupy Wall Street.
This was supposed to be a General Assembly.
This is supposed to be a General Assembly.
This is fucking embarrassing.
This is fucking embarrassing.
To prevent future occurrences. Like this one today. We need to establish a precedent. That there are no sort of occupied town squares. Or direct actions. Around 7 p.m. On Saturdays. When we're supposed to have a General Assembly.
Yes, thank you, Michael. I'm really stoked to see you all.
What I'm hearing in this group is a lot of frustration about how our movement doesn't communicate. There's lots of reasons this is going on. Some are political, some are personal, but there's a solution. If each one of us takes some form of direct action and talks to other people about General Assemblies and why they might be important, or if they're important at all, because this conversation is happening, but not here within the one structure our community has set up to communicate with. A perfect example is the Wednesday report backs. The idea was when we didn't have GAs, we needed an area where we could announce things. Now we have GAs back, but we still have these report backs on Wednesdays. But the people who set up these things, the Wednesday report backs, don't bottom line the event. So a lot of people from the broader community have been coming on Wednesdays to give their report backs. But because people have a confused understanding about what a leaderless movement looks like, and what bottom lining means. Our community needs to understand. If you have an idea for an action, that's great. But putting it on the calendar is not going to make it happen. I see over and over people in our movement designing actions and throwing them at us. So on any given day, there's 3 different events where you can choose to be arrested at.